We're going to start this one off with a little bit of fan art. This piece is by Brisket, and it depicts last episode's encounter with the Jabberwock. The monster charges Kirk, but Mellifera is lagging behind for some reason. Mel? We put the car in park and step out to see what we can see. We dump our bag and rush over to help Kirk with a couple of zombies. Let's just sling our backpack into the trunk here. This overly bloated zombie bursts with a splash of foul-smelling goo and we strike it. Ah! Inside, we find a Glock and a little bit of ammo. There's a candle on the back of the toilet. Not much, but it was still a worthwhile stop. We'll go get Nestor and... Incredible. Things don't look too good at the evac shelter. It's trashed and covered in graffiti. From up on the roof, we can see movement out in the woods. Zombies. Maybe that's what happened to the people here. Or maybe they got picked up and they're safe and warm somewhere. There's another dog out here. This one's looking a little rough. It's got mange or something. Its skin is scaly where the fur has thinned out. Returning to our hideout, we go through the familiar routine of unloading and sorting our loot. Kirk stays behind as we drag the kayak back outside. There's no way we're fitting 3 people on this thing, and anyway, he's pretty banged up. Another newspaper. Portals? Reports of shimmering gateways opening around the US have been corroborated by our own reporting staff. One reporter witnessed a creature the size of an apartment building take a direct hit from an Apache helicopter's weaponry and continue to fight. Government officials could not be reached for comment, but a local pastor spoke to our reporter in the field. "There can be no doubt," she was quoted as saying, "these are the end times." We find Nestor out patrolling the field, keeping a wary eye on the eastern shore. "Any luck?" "Yeah, I killed it." He lets out a long sigh, perhaps considering whether to believe us. Finally, he nods. "Good riddance." There's another person back at my hideout. We're going to try looking for more survivors. We've got weapons, food. You should come with us. Yeah, that sounds good. Nestor's an interesting character. His stats are middling to poor, but he has decent perception and can handle all kinds of guns. He heals quickly, but he doesn't mind inclement weather, he's a skilled liar, and he can carry a lot of gear for a guy his size. Unfortunately, he's got some kind of autoimmune thing going on. He can't handle vegetables, fruits, lactose, or junk food, and he's vulnerable to cutting damage thanks to his thin-skinned trait. He's also got the hoarder trait, which means that he's not happy unless he's carrying a lot of stuff. Lastly, he's got the chemical imbalance trait, which will cause him to feel random pains, chills, hunger, and other minor issues. We'll just take a moment to set his AI up. A goose nips at us, and we reflexively obliterate it with our baseball bat. Whoops. This kayak isn't really made for 2, but it's a short trip to the other shore, and from there, back to the mall. On our return, we're met by a zombie larger than any we've ever seen. It's completely covered in distended muscles and oozing sores, and it's quick. We try to bait it to one side to give Nestor room to fire, but it turns from us and charges him instead. With a single strike, he's sent sprawling. We move to intervene, but underestimate the zombie. A hit to its leg fails to knock it down, and it grabs our arm in an iron grip, pummeling and biting us. The second zombie grabs our other arm, and we're pinned, unable to fight back. Nestor! He rushes in with a baseball bat and starts whacking the zombie. It distracts the thing just enough for us to wrench free and join in on the attack. In seconds, they're both dead. But that was scary. Thanks. I didn't think it could move like that. Are you okay? Not really. No. We swallow a pain pill and Nestor helps us look over our wounds. Apparently, he's got some training. Good to know. We limp back to the hideout, letting the boys get introduced while we collapse into our armchair. It's clear Nestor's going to need some armor. We've got an idea of something we can throw together out of scrap. Since we're laid up anyway, it's a convenient time to make these kinds of preparations. We use our supplies of leather to stitch together a vest to which we sew plates of scrap metal. The result is a sort of Mad Max version of brigandine. It's kind of awesome. We decide to hand our cuirass over to Nestor. The vest offers similar protection against cutting and stabbing attacks, but it's a lot better against impact. The only downside is that it leaves our shoulders exposed, but that's a small price to pay. We can also get to work on that fast straw holster that we started a while back. Something's making noise. Get off of my property! For dinner, we share some tomato and cheese sandwiches, but as we eat, a strange feeling comes over us. A buzzing at the edge of our senses. We step out to have a look. The air shimmers with some kind of distortion, and a high-pitched squeal echoes through the confines of the mall like shearing metal. Guys? Oh God, it's happening again. What is? You don't remember? It started up like this back on Doomsday. That's how it all went to hell. We don't remember. Not really. There's still a weak-sized hole in our memory. Ahead, some kind of impossible geometric shape shimmers out of the air. Or was it always there? Looking at it makes our skull feel like it's splitting in two. So, we shoot it. It vanishes, if it was ever here at all. But there's a sudden low hiss as a cloud of smoke billows down through the skylight, flooding into the mall. There are a few zombies in this back office. We still haven't fully cleared this place out. Nestor steps in with his baseball bat, battering the undead as we pump lead into them. Another strange shape glitters in the morning light. We blast it until it isn't there anymore. Where are we going? We can't answer him. It almost feels like something's calling to us. Finally, we spot it, there behind the RV, a few meters of absolute nothingness. Sweat beads clammy on our brow as we raise our Beretta and squeeze the trigger. And just like that, it's gone. No more smoke, no more distortion, no more shapes. It's a clear, crisp spring morning. We nudge Kirk awake so that we can have our chair back. He reluctantly obliges, and we resume working on our holster. If Kirk or Nestor were better at crafting, they could help us out and reduce the overall work time. Unfortunately, they aren't, so they'll just watch and gain a little bit of skill. And that gets us another proficiency, skilled leatherworking. The three of us decide to take advantage of the daylight and hike down to the other evac shelter. We're all tired and bruised, but the prospect of finding people has everybody too anxious to get much rest. The undead go down quick when 2 or 3 people are beating on them. It's a long walk, and Nestor's still visibly shaken by what we saw, but we're able to simply follow the highway, which winds around a patch of wetland before turning east again. Tents? There are a lot of casings and Stanag mags littered around the place, and no small amount of blood. Was the National Guard here? Hey, wait! Nestor stops us, pointing at a small object lying in the road. It's mined! We tiptoe out to the edge of the area, hoping they only mined the road and not the surrounding field. There's graffiti on the walls. Cataclysm bus stop. Someone named Jacqueline left a note for Shirley, saying that she's gone on to Camp 36. Don't dead open inside? Don't open dead inside. Was that checkpoint to protect the people here, or to keep them from leaving? There's a computer station set up. A message blinks on the screen. Greetings, citizen. A biological attack has taken place and a state of emergency has been declared. Emergency personnel will be aiding you shortly. To ensure your safety, please follow the steps below. 1. Do not panic. 2. Remain inside the building. 3. Seek shelter in the basement. 4. Use provided gas masks. 5. Await further instructions. Gas masks? We select the Contact Us option. The network's down, but it's able to give us a physical address. It says it's for a refugee shelter. Isn't this a refugee shelter? Nah, this is just a temporary spot. They would have been busing people up to the center. The place isn't that far. We might be able to find a car and get up there. What, we're trusting the feds now? I don't know, man. What options do we have? Despite our misgivings, we conclude that the only thing to do is head for the shelter. The road ahead of us is long, and the confidence we gained at the skate park is swiftly drying up. The monsters are getting stronger, and stranger things are happening. What were those shapes earlier? And why do they hurt to remember? At least we've got 2 companions by our side. They may not be the toughest guys around, but they've helped us deal with some of the worst monsters we've seen so far. Maybe, working together, we just might make it.